Terilyn and Gina here from Riverside Reptiles. We are here waiting for people to join us so that we can talk to you about our eastern rat snakes. Yay, we have some people joining us.
Awesome.
If you're out there, definitely say hi and feel free to ask us questions because that's what we're here for.
You want to say who we're looking at again?
Yeah, so we are looking at, take the phone. We are looking at Onyx and Shadow. And if you look in the dirt, Shadow's hanging out down there. And Onyx is hanging out right here. And these are eastern rat snakes, formerly known as black rat snakes. And this is their new enclosure here at Riverside Reptiles. These are Connecticut's longest snakes. They can grow to be about 10 feet long, but they mostly average out about 8 feet. Onyx is about a little over 5 feet long, and Shadow is about the same. And they are 12 years old and 6 years old. One was hatched from an egg at Brian's, and the other one, someone brought in firewood over the winter and found Onyx in there. And because it was February, he couldn't be released, so now he lives here at Riverside Reptiles. And as you can see, they do burrow under the sand. If it is a cold day, they might be found burrowing in sand or in rocky crevices or rocky outcroppings. And actually in the winter, they den with timber rattlers and copperheads, and it's called a hibernaculum. And the groups of snakes will den together. So when you come and visit us here at Riverside Reptiles after this crisis is over, Shadow and Onyx will be having copperheads as their roommates. You'll be able to see both snakes together in their enclosure. Onyx is also showing you that they are very adept at climbing. So if you've been hiking anywhere in Mass or Connecticut, or even all the way down south through South Carolina, chances are there were a black rat snake in the woods with you. But most of the time they are found up in the trees. So they know you're there and you might not know that they are there. And they blend in quite well with the tree branches, but also underneath, they're known for this checkerboard pattern on their bellies, and that mimics the light dabbling through the leaves from the sun. So if you look up, you might think that you're looking at the sun's rays or clouds in the sky. Sometimes they're confused with the black racer. If you had the two of them side by side, you might be able to tell the difference. You can look at their scales for one. See if Onyx will show you his forked tongue. It's being camera shy. But they do have a forked tongue to help them smell on the left and the right. Who's joining us? Who's down there? Tell me. I can't see. I don't have my glasses on.
Amanda says they're so cool.
Amanda.
They are
Hi,
cool.
Amanda. Black rat snakes were actually the very first snakes I ever worked with or ever held. My good friend Cindy worked at the Children's Museum where Brian first started working too with animals. He was a curator there. And Shadow was actually one of the black rat snakes that I worked with. Shadow has since passed on, and that's why I named this one Shadow. Who else is joining us?
It's Amanda saying hi.
Oh, hi, Amanda. Again, no one else? Anyone else want to say hi to us or ask us any questions? Feel free.
Get a close up of his scales.
Since we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Earth Day this week, we figured we would celebrate with one of Connecticut's native residents. They are endangered in Massachusetts, but they are not endangered in Connecticut.
So, hi, Andrea. Thanks for joining. And Amanda said that this is the first type of snake she ever saw, laying across the road in West Hartford, where she grew up. And she almost ran over it on her bike.
Yes. As soon as it starts to get warm, snakes will go and sometimes bask on the road, or sometimes they might be trying to cross the road, especially water snakes if they're going to a body of water. But the road, the streets are made of asphalt, and obviously it gets really warm. So some snakes will be taking in the warmth of the road. And so it's really important to look out for wildlife, not just turtles and mammals, but also snakes. They're known to be in roadways too. You obviously want to be careful if you see a snake in the road to not try and approach it on your own. Always bring a stick. There are two venomous species here in Connecticut. I'll put that question out. Does anyone know what the two venomous snakes that we have in Connecticut are?
And of course, all snakes are important to our ecosystem because they are excellent natural rodent control. So it's another reason why we want to protect them and keep a lookout for their best interests.
If you said timber rattler and copperhead for our venomous snakes, you would be correct. But there's really no such thing as an aggressive snake. Brian has taught me, and I've learned through the years, it's more a defensive snake. So the snake is not trying to be aggressive, it's being defensive. So if you're trying to help it, might not realize that you're trying to help it. So just be careful if you're moving a snake to a safer spot on the road.
And Andrea actually had gotten those right. She said rattlesnake and copperhead. Excellent.
We will have both of those here at Riverside Reptiles. And if you are interested in rattlesnakes and copperheads or these rat snakes, feel free to go to our new sponsorship page and sponsor one of them. We have not been able to open because of the crisis. So your sponsorship will help pay for the care of the animal you sponsor, as well as the other animals that call Riverside Reptiles home. And for those of you that have already sponsored an animal, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And again, to those of you who have booked memberships, who have bought memberships already, thank you so much. If you've booked a Zoom party with me, thank you. We want to really say thank you to everyone so far. We've reached Girl Scout troops, a Boy Scout troop. We've done parties in Florida and here. And it's really helping us out. Every little bit counts. If you'd like to book a Zoom party with us, feel free to message us here on Facebook. you can go right to Messenger and I'll get back to you.
So that's a cool story from Ashley. She said that these are her favorite snakes, and they were always around when she worked at Talcott Mountain State Park. And they used to come into the tower to eat the mice.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, so these snakes get their name rat snakes because they eat rats, but they'll also eat mice, and they'll eat eggs. They might eat birds. They're an opportunistic hunter, so whatever they can come across, they'll eat. They might eat lizards or frogs too. And like all snakes, their jaw comes unhinged, so it stretches really big. Picture an elastic band and you're stretching it. Their jaw stretches. These are constrictors, so if they were to bite you, it would hurt, but there is no venom in their fang. They don't have fangs, but in their teeth, they have no venom. Their teeth do point backwards though, and so it helps them to push the animal backwards when they're eating. And their tongue goes into a secret pocket so it doesn't get in the way when they eat. I love Talcott Mountain. So nice there. If you're just joining us, this is Terilyn and Gina. We are from Riverside Reptiles, and we are showing you our eastern rat snake. This one is Onyx. Shadow is buried sort of underneath in the dirt. They haven't been here long. They've been here for about a week so far in their new enclosure. And they used to be called just black rat snakes. And we decided to show you a Connecticut native since we are celebrating Earth Day this week and the 50th anniversary. Anybody have any other questions? We can start wrapping it up.
Brian Wilson says, hi, Terilyn.
Oh, hey, Brian. How are you? Hope you and the family are as well. Miss you.
So we have a question from Karen. She's wondering, what's the best thing to do if a snake is biting you?
Oh, well, I guess it would depend on what snake it is. Let's see. You could probably try and grab the back of its neck. If the snake is latching onto you, that's a good question. When I got bit, the snake actually bit and then let go. So,
which is what typically would happen.
Yeah. But if it's latched onto you, you'd probably need help getting it off of you. I was doing a program once and I had a snake go through my belt loop and I could not get it out. And so I thought on my feet, and I had a first aid kit with me, and I took the ice pack out and put it underneath its tail so that it would keep moving. Obviously snakes are cold-blooded, which means they can't get to their body temperature gets to the air around them. So if it's cold outside, they're going to be cold. If it's warm outside, they're going to be warm, and they do not want to be cold. So the cool ice pack made the snake want to keep going forward, so I was able to get it out of my belt loop. So if you did have something cold, maybe.
So Karen's saying, specifying a ball python.
Did that happen to you, Karen? I'm so sorry if it did. You could definitely message us again if you want, and we can ask Brian what he would do if a ball python was biting him and wouldn't let go. My first instinct is probably to grab behind the neck and try and grab from that way.
And Brian cannot wait for us to be open so he can bring the family. Neither can we. Yeah. We're so excited to open.
And if you come here and tell us you saw us on Zoom, we'll let you meet one of the animals that you saw. Especially if Gina or I are around.
So someone's asking how they would get their venomous license. And I'm not sure I know the answer to that. I don't know about you, Caroline. Brian might.
I think each state is different. I'm not sure what the regulations are for venomous species. And I know Brian had to follow some really strict guidelines for crossing state lines and things like that. So that would probably be a question for Brian. If you email us or if you message us here on Facebook, he'll be able to help you out. I'm not sure if it's just strictly for education purposes here. I don't know if you're allowed to have venomous species in your possession, especially ones like copperheads and timber rattlers that we have here that are endangered. Thank you so much for tuning in. And again, we just rolled out our animal sponsorships. Our memberships are at discounted prices, and we are booking Zoom parties. Zoom parties are really good to connect with your family for family gatherings. If your child has a birthday party during this pandemic, if you're a teacher and looking for lessons, I am certified in the state of Connecticut, so I can teach a lesson for you or team teach with you, or just do it for fun if you want to connect with your students. And also libraries. So really any way that you would like to connect with family and friends, scout troops. So thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. Happy Earth Day week.